Good morning. Today is Thursday, so I'm coming at you with a live. It is week 4 of our 6-week accountability group. I am hopeful that you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Since we talked last, we have had Thanksgiving. My family celebrated big. I had 2 different family events on the same day. On Thursday, I had lunch with my dad's side of the family and dinner with my mom's side of the family. And our party was so big, we rented a local hall called the Commons here in Collegedale, and it was beautiful. It was so big, my girls got to bring scooters and play around the hall. Got to play games, eat a lot of yummy food, even had a whole vegan table. So it was a good time. I'm thankful for everything. I'm thankful for this group and the opportunity to do something that I love so much. Today's topic is building movement into your life naturally. A big part of healthy lifestyle is eating, absolutely, and we've talked several weeks on trying to get healthier foods into our diet, but something we cannot forget is that activity, movement, exercise is absolutely a part of a healthy lifestyle. Excuse me. So today we're going to talk a little bit about about exercising and movement, not as much about eating. But one of the things that I think I talked about in that first week is when we look at our total day's calories burned, the majority of those calories are just surviving everyday body mechanics, body physiological energy that we need for our heart to breathe, our heart to beat and our lungs to breathe. Those are all very vital and take energy. But the other big chunk of the calories that we burn in a day is our daily activity. I like to call it activity because it's not actually exercise. Exercise has its own little sliver, and it's only about 5 to 10% of the calories we burn. But the calories we burn in just activity can be 10 to 20%, even sometimes higher than that. So think of, let's say, a construction worker. He is not exercising. His job is very active. So that is a difference, and why people who have active jobs, like teachers who are on their feet all day and chasing after kids, nurses, restaurant workers. I remember my uncle saying he would walk 5 to 7 miles in a 4-hour shift because there is so much movement in that type of job. So activity isn't exercise in a gym or on a YouTube video or things like that. It's just your day-to-day movement, and that can be a much bigger chunk of your day's calories than exercising. So finding ways to be more active is imperative to longevity and just a healthier lifestyle, and it helps lose weight without actually trying to sweat and burn a lot of calories. So I actually have a client who works from home, and that type of lifestyle, I lived it for 4 years, helps it I say helps, not a great word. It encourages being sedentary. I love that law of physics. A body in motion stays in motion, and a body at rest stays at rest. So if you are mostly still, you don't feel like moving. And the opposite is true. Once you start moving, you don't want to stop. So not only does it work for inanimate objects, but it matters for human beings as well. So this client works from home and would often have a hard time fitting in exercise, which is fine. But once this client started working a second job that caused her to walk a lot more, we saw some movement on the scale. Because you can eat a little enough to lose weight, but it is much harder to do if you're not also moving or exercising. So I don't want you to have to eat such a small amount that you can't, enjoy life. But if you are exercising, that also helps. But movement is gonna probably be the biggest one, just being more active. So some very common movement activity to add into your day would be something like parking your car farther in the parking lot. Those, especially right now, everybody's shopping for holidays. It is very tempting because it's freezing to find the closest one, but parking farther is a way to get more steps in. If you're someone that has a sedentary job and that is your movement, make it count. The other one would be taking stairs. If you work in an office building that maybe on the second or third floor, take the stairs a few times in your day. Again, more activity. Stairs is a really awesome way because it works in muscles a lot more just because of the actual step motion. So taking stairs is a really great way to add more activity in your day. Also, a standing desk. Again, these are for desk workers or people who have pretty sedentary jobs. Standing is not as great as walking, but it's much better than sitting. I should have set this up so I could stand during this live. That would have been fun. I'm looking at my picture and I look frozen, so hopefully it's back. Okay, so hopefully you guys heard that. Standing is better than sitting. Walking is the best. So if you have a chance, if you have a work meeting or something on the phone, get up and move around. If it's a video, turn your clock on phone meetings. If you are a morning person, take advantage of maybe just setting your alarm 5 minutes earlier. I think another block in being more active is we think it's going to take so much time. It doesn't have to take that much time. Exercise, we do want like 20 minutes consecutively, but in activity, every little bit counts. So if you wake up 5 minutes earlier and you have stairs in your home, go up and down the stairs for those 5 extra minutes. If you're still going to take a shower, might as well. Get some movement in. Do some wall push-ups. Sit in a chair and lift your legs, lift your arms if you are struggling with mobility. If you have arm weights or something, you can do a few curls. Doing something with your arms is also helpful. But any kind of movement, if you're already going to be like getting ready for work in the morning and you're blow drying your hair, sit in a squat position or in a lunge position and just hold it. So find ways to add some resistance training, some cardio into your day-to-day life. So these are kind of ideas for getting more activity in. If you have a step counter like an Apple Watch or a Garmin or Fitbit, or even if your phone has a step counter, I want you to look at how many steps you're taking. I have another client who's like, I'm going to get 10,000 steps every day. It's like, okay, well, let's look at your average. What are you doing right now? And he's averaging 4,000 to 6,000 steps. Going straight to 10, we've talked about this in our SMART goals, is a big jump. So I encouraged him, let's just shoot for 8. If you are getting 5 to 6, let's go for 8, because that way it doesn't seem as big and as daunting, and our brain is more likely to do that hard thing if it's not quite as hard. Remember, our brain wants to protect and do the path of least resistance, and so we have to troubleshoot that. We have to go around, bypass your brain's natural desire in order to make these long-lasting changes. So finding ways to add the activity in, and if you're young and you have kids, go play with your kids. It's so tempting to just sit on the sidelines and watch them play. Go push them on the trampoline, the swings. If you can, join them on the trampoline. I know one of our playgrounds here in town has like a walking track around the actual playground, so you can still keep an eye on your kid and take some laps. I've done that before. So get moving. Oh, another one I forget is cleaning your house. Put some music on that makes you want to dance and clean maybe a little more vigorously than you have in the past. Get movement in that way. I know when I vacuum my house, because I have a hairy dog, I put my exercise on my watch because I am sweating by the end of it. There's a lot of vacuuming that happens in my house. So find ways to move more, stand up. My physical therapist husband always says every 20 minutes you should stand up if you have a sedentary sitting job. I was not very good at doing it every 20 minutes, but my watch reminds me to do it at least once an hour, and so that is my reminder. All right, so we're adding in some activity. I am going to put a plug in for weight training. Weight training at any age, at any stage of life is very important. If you have access to dumbbells or even gallons of water, any kind of resistance, weight, rubber bands is so important for our muscle health. I teach a class, and I just taught my class this morning about the circumference of our thighs, specifically muscle circumference of our thighs, is now the new indicator of longevity. And I had this graphic. I was trying to pull it up so I can share my screen with y'all, but I couldn't find it. But there's a graphic of a 20-year-old woman and the muscle mass of her thigh versus a 65-year-old woman and the muscle mass of her thigh. Their circumference was alarmingly different. My face is frozen again. I'm very sorry. I'm not sure why I'm having internet issues. I've not had it before. All right, it looks like I'm back. So the circumference of your thighs, a 20-year-old woman versus a 65-year-old woman, it was almost half of the muscle mass. So in order to have longevity and health, and stay tuned for next week. There was a question, and I was trying to find it, and I couldn't find it. I will save it for next week because I'm having such internet issues. But please share this with your day life. Thank you so much, guys. Have a blessed day.